Hi guys, it's Shah. So today's video is just gonna be me moaning about everyday life. A lot of things that are playing on my mind lately, such as, you know, everyday life. Yeah, so that's what it's gonna be about today. I'm kind of, you know, trying to think of things that I can do to keep you all entertained, but lockdown, that's all I seem to say lately is lockdown. So that's probably one of the things I'm going to touch on is lockdown. Things I dislike. We'll start with cyclists. Where to start? No, in all fairness, I've come across some cyclists that are, you know, have common courtesy for one another and whatnot. I understand that people can only go out right now for exercise. I get that. But when there's a cycle lane and you're on a dual carriageway, probably safer to use your cycle lane. I know the government at the moment are, you know, trying to enforce more cycle lanes so it's safer for those that want to go out and get their daily exercise. I get that. But when there's, you know, a perfectly good, you know, just freshly laid cycle lane and people don't use it, it kind of frustrates me, because you're not only causing yourself danger, you're causing other road users danger. So, you know, being considerate of others is a big thing. Not many people these days are considerate of one another, which is quite sad. I mean, growing up, you know, we were brought up to help people. You know, if your neighbour needed something and you had it, you gave it. If it meant giving your last penny, then that was the way we was brought up. You'd give it. Obviously, I was brought up in the 90s. It's actually, oh, how many days? What day are we on today? I think it's 23rd. I think it's like 4 days. My birthday's on the 27th of this month. So it's my birthday week. Exciting stuff. Nearly 28. Gosh, that's scary. When you get to 21, it kind of all just goes very, very quickly and in a blur. Mum always said it would, and I kind of didn't believe her. You know, as a child, I thought, oh, I can't wait until I'm older and I can do this and I can do that. That's kind of being stripped away from everyone at the moment, hasn't it? You know, there's only so much we can do. Which is sad, because we have such a beautiful planet, and I like to go out and go for walks and take photos. I love photography. I'd eventually like to get a good camera. I love anything sort of artsy and crafty, so visiting places and being like, oh, I think I could draw that, or, you know, that would make a beautiful photo. It's a bit sad when you can no longer do those things. Things are restricted. There's a particular place that I go, or where I used to go, if I was having a bit of a down day, and the most beautiful, beautiful surroundings, and they have live deer there that just roam in, you know, a fenced field. But there's got to be, I don't know, maybe 200 roughly-ish deers and stags. Absolutely beautiful place. It's nice to go and sit and unwind there. My job, as I've said before, I work in healthcare, and that can be mentally and physically draining. So sometimes it's nice to have, you know, even an hour just to go and sit where there's just nothing but silence and nature. Because we live in a society nowadays where we don't appreciate what we have. You know, a year ago, would any of us be sat here thinking life was going to completely change for everyone? Not just, you know, targeted a couple of families. It's the whole world. It's, you know, it's crazy how much has changed in such a short space. We've lost loved ones that we probably shouldn't have lost. In some way or another, everyone has been affected this year with, you know, not just the pandemic, isolation, shielding. You know, that's difficult, especially those that do have underlying health conditions, and then they're sort of stripped away from work, stripped away from people that they see on a daily basis. You know, my colleagues are not just colleagues, they're family. We know how each other work, how we think. We know when each other are down. And it's nice to be able to, you know, talk to someone that will not judge, you know, what's going on in your head or what's going on in your life. So yeah, I do miss that. I do miss going to work. I do miss being around people, you know, that human contact. I mean, I've only been out of work now. I near 2 weeks, I think. And it's having some form of impact, you know. So I can only imagine what it's like for those that have been shielding and isolating since, you know, last year. Because their health, it restricts them. And I think, you know, like today, walking around supermarkets, just to get food and stuff. And where I'm from at the moment, which is Kent in the southeast of England, it was absolutely horrific. You would never ever think that there was this deadly virus going around. We, funny enough, have been forecasted snow for tomorrow. And people just barging one another, like, you know, their life is any more important than the next person. And it's quite distressing and quite upsetting to see that, because, you know, we should be helping each other out in times like this, not fighting against one another. And I don't know whether that's just the way I was brought up to think like that. I'd like to have thought, you know, that everyone was brought up with a little bit of care and love for, you know, even if it's someone you don't know. You know, there's children's out of school at the moment, and they you know, are, or when they was at school, they would get free school meals, and their parents are now got to struggle to make ends meet, you know, when they was at school. That helps families, that helped. It was one less stress. You know, they know that their child was having a nutritious meal. And now those parents, you know, they rely on supermarkets and stuff and cheaper ways of feeding a family. And people, they're living from, you know, paycheck to paycheck, basically. I mean, people or working class families can't afford to go out and buy things in huge bulk, or, you know, some days they wake up and they don't even have a slice of bread in their house. And I just wish people were just a little bit more considerate. I mean, my local supermarket, I don't know whether I'm allowed to name them, but I will. It's Morrison's. They're doing a collection, and they have been for, well, a long time now, which goes to the local food banks. And so if anyone can, you know, even buy a couple of tins, doesn't have to be expensive, and donate those, that will help people. It doesn't have to cost a fortune to help someone. You know, either being an ear, so, you know, if someone needs to talk, then be there. Let them talk. You know, my biggest fear is, obviously, with people being locked in their homes at the moment. Well, not locked in their homes, but, you know, being within the lockdown, and, you know, people being furloughed, which means they're at home more. Domestic abuse, that happens, not just for females, but for males. I do think people tend to forget that it's not always the male that is abusive to the female. So it's a catch-22 situation, because obviously you can't be around people outside of your household. But if you do suspect, then there are numbers that you can call. And if you are being abused, whether you are male or female, you know, there's people out there that you can talk to, Samaritans. It can be, I know it's difficult because obviously you'd be stuck within the same house, but there's numbers that you can message. You haven't got to talk to people over the phone. I just guess what I'm saying is, if you're struggling, speak out. If you fear that a friend of yours is struggling, try and make contact. You know, do whatever it takes to protect those that are vulnerable. Same with, you know, there's a lady that I've seen on social media, and she's absolutely incredible. I'm not going to name her because, you know, confidentiality, but since the start of the first lockdown, I'd say, she's been making up food gift bags for the elderly and those that are vulnerable, those that can't go out and do their own shopping. And it contains things like toilet rolls, biscuits, breads, tin food, toothpaste, soap, you know, things that majority of people take for granted. Those things mean a lot. So there is help. I guess it's just looking in the right places. I've waffled on quite a bit, you know, about things that play on my mind. You know, I'm sat at home, so if I have no work to do, like coursework and stuff, then my brain seems to go into overdrive, and I then start to sit and think and worry about how other people are dealing with this current situation. Unfortunately, due to the current situation, my best friend lost her dad, and he was a well thought of man, you know, very, very young, had a full life ahead of him. And I know a lot of people are going through the same. So if there's anyone that's watching this that have lost someone, not, you know, not even due to COVID, due to any reason, and they need to talk, I will answer. I will, you know, I'll make it my mission to try and comfort you when you feel like no one can. There's people going through so much heartache at the moment, and others are not being considerate of that at all. You know, my best friend is so scared to leave her front door. Because she's worried that, you know, well, I don't know, but if you need someone to talk to, let me be that someone. By no means I'm not a counsellor, or, you know, but sometimes it's just nice to talk. We've all got worries. We've all got, you know, issues at the moment. A lot of people are taking their lives, and I just think maybe if they had someone to talk to, maybe that wouldn't be the case. And talking helps so much. Like, if you've suffered with mental health and you've been to a counsellor, just getting some of the issues off of your chest, you know, it means that some of that pressure is gone. So, yeah, if anyone wants to talk, I'm here. You can do it anonymous. You haven't got to give a name. You can tell me whatever you wish, you know, whatever's going to help. I will reply to every single one of you. I will guarantee you that. So, you know, don't feel like, oh, if I write to her, she's not going to bother replying. That's not the case. I will reply. You know, I'll make that promise. Just, yeah, life's hard sometimes, and we just need to be there for one another. This video is, I know it's quite a serious video, but I think how much more serious can it get when we're losing loved ones, and day after day there's people contracting this virus and other illnesses, and their life is put on the line. You know, the NHS staff are absolutely incredible. I think every single one of them should be, you know, meet the Queen and get some form of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Recognition. Every single, I know that's going to be very difficult because there's a lot of NHS workers, but they have gone above and beyond. They've put their lives at risk. They've, you know, male and female nurses and doctors and clinical support workers and surgeons, they haven't seen their family because obviously working at a hospital, high risk of COVID, contagiousness. So they've actually left their family to come and look after your family. So, you know, I pray that none of you have to go into hospital. I pray that none of your family members are in hospital. But if they do, or if you do, just be considerate. These nurses are working 16, 17, 18-hour shifts, you know, with not even time to go and have a toilet or have some lunch. Again, things that we take for granted. So personally, I'd like to thank all the NHS staff, because I think they're absolutely incredible. And I think in the UK, we're very, very, very lucky. Countries like America, you know, they have to pay for their hospital visits, where we are very, very fortunate. I know we pay taxes and things like that. I get that. But I also think we take a lot of things for granted. Yeah. So thank you to the NHS staff. Please be safe. And anyone who's watching it, excuse me, please continue to stay safe. Protect yourself, protect others around you. Be a little bit considerate about people. You know, you don't know what the next person's going through or have gone through. And that is with or without a pandemic, you know. Share the love. Don't judge others for what they may be going through. If anything, help them, you know. But as I say, if anyone's struggling, please feel free to drop us a message. Like I say, you don't have to name yourself. It can be completely anonymous. And I'll be here to talk to you if you need someone to talk to. But I know this video is a bit serious. I do apologise, but it's something that's close to my heart at the moment. So, and I think it needs to be spoken about more. You know, I've seen from the first lockdown to this lockdown, the difference in the seriousness. People are just not taking it serious anymore. And I fear that the only way they're going to take it serious is if themselves or a loved one close to them contracts this virus. And, you know, you hear the horrific stories. So I'm not going to go into detail, but it shouldn't have to come to that. It really shouldn't. So just be mindful. And I will see you guys next time. Yeah, take care. From Be Wise and Be Beautiful, we send our love to everyone. We hope everyone is safe and well. Bye.